Europe is in a crisis.
Are coming in of an attack.
A shooting in central Paris.
Hearing at least 20 shots and seeing more than 15 dead.
Two young men, no older than 25, with Kalashnikovs.
January 2015. Two gunmen shot down 8 of Charlie Hebdo's editorial team members. November 2015. A series of coordinated suicide bombings is carried out across Paris, leaving 130 people dead. September 2020. Two people are stabbed and almost killed near Charlie Hebdo's former editorial office. October 2020. French teacher Samuel Paty is beheaded. October 2020. Three people are stabbed to death in Nice. November 2020. At least 4 people are killed in an open firing in Austria. All of these terrorist attacks have one thing in common: Muslim extremism. But why France? And why has Europe been a target, a constant target for ISIS and other radical groups? And what has the French secular idea of laïcité to do with these attacks? My name is Ishan Fosdar and you are watching The Upfront. Laïcité is the French idea of secularism, and before jumping into the religious conflict, let's talk about secularism for a minute. First of all, secularism is a huge concept and is an idea which is shared by many fields ranging from psychology to sociology to political science, so on and so forth. Secularism has many types and many theories behind it. Berlin-Blau divides secularism into 6 types. There is a general classification of secularism into hard and soft. Professor Tahir Mahmood divides secularism into active and passive. Donald Smith gives us a triangular model of secularism. My point here is to tell you that secularism is a very huge concept, and no matter how much you read on it, it is always less. So never stop reading about this idea, because this is not exhaustive. To give you a general view of secularism, a bird's eye view of secularism, secularism does mean the separation of church from the state, but this separation can be of varying degrees. Rajiv Bhargava, in his article The Distinctiveness of Indian Secularism, of whose link I'll provide in the description, defines these levels of separation and establishes 3 types of connection, 3 levels of connection between the church, the religion and the state. The level of ends or values, the level of institution and the level of public policy. The level of ends or values means the sharing of values between the religion and the state. The level of institution is the relationship between religious institution and the state. The state here means the government. The level of public policy is how religion affects government policies, that is public policies. In an autocratic state, the government and the religion will have connection on all the 3 levels. However, in a secular state, it is mandatory to have a disconnection on the very first level. Understand it by this example. The duty of religion is to provide spiritual and mental peace. The duty of the government is to protect its citizens. In an autocratic state, the government will inherit both these duties, the duty of the religion as well as the state. But in a secular state, these two will have no connection whatsoever. This was secularism. Let's now come to
Laïcité.
Laïcité is the French idea of secularism, and it disassociates the government from religion on all the 3 levels. In India, we have a dissociation in the first and the second level, but not so much in the third level. We can still see religion affecting public policy. However, the French law of 1905 of secularism is very stringent, and France is still governed by it. But what has laïcité to do with this?
They have lost something like 25% of their territory.
Well, laïcité is only a part of the problem. The growing religious attacks on Europe and on the West as a whole has 3 major reasons: ISIS losing its territory, the stringency of laïcité, and the growing intolerance. Allow me to explain this. ISIS has been losing its territory in Iraq and Syria owing to the joint attack by allied forces led by US, to which France is also a party. This has compelled ISIS to change its plans and to attack the Western and the European countries directly in order to distract them so that they could evade more military action in Iraq and Syria. This ISIS action might not be directly related to the recent attacks but is playing a major role in the growing religious militant sentiment around the world. Secondly, laïcité is very stringent, and don't misunderstand me here. I do not belong to this or this group. There is a classic debate, a classic dilemma which lies here. The people who argue for laïcité say that French society is predominantly atheist. More than 50% of France follows atheism, and this predominantly atheist society has chosen this government into power, which makes it the duty, the obligation of this government to reflect upon the predominant mood of the society. The predominant mood of the society being atheism, the government should not loosen up its secular laws and should propagate atheism. This is the for argument. The people who argue against laïcité say that France has seen a major religious demographic shift. The percentage of Muslims has grown from 2% in 1950 to 6% in 2020, and this religious demography shift should invoke the French government to deliberate upon the stringent secular laws and to adjust the stringency of these laws in order to adapt to this change. This is the classic dilemma which the French President Macron and the entire French society is facing. I'll put my opinions on this at the end of the video, but it is safe to assume that Macron is of the former opinion. Of the opinion that the government should reflect the predominant trait of the society and not to loosen up the stringent secular laws of France. This rigidity and stringency of Macron has invited reactions from inside and outside of France. But violence is neither a legitimate form of protest nor a justifiable reaction. Violence committed by any religion, sect or ideology is condemnable and should be condemned. But on this same note, it is also important to put forward that seeing a religion with a good-bad dichotomy is unjust and irrational. I can show you this figure or this report to prove to you the innocence of Islam, but the contrary can also be argued using the same reports. Hinduism was once propagated by this great man. Today it has been reduced to this.
हर हिंदू के हाथ में तलवार होने की आवश्यकता है। हर हिंदू के हाथ में आज का हिंदू सुनने वाला नहीं है, फोड़ने वाला हिंदू है।
Simply blaming a religion for all the violence happening around the world is running away from the problem, the core problem of intolerance. This is Angela Merkel. She was the German Chancellor for 4 terms and was virtually the most important and the most powerful woman in global politics. This is what Merkel had to say about Islamic terror attacks.
Klar gemacht wird, dass nicht der Islam die Ursache des Terrorismus ist, sondern eine fehlgeleitete.
This is Marine Le Pen, an ultra-right politician from France who missed the presidential seat last time by just an inch. She is very well projected to be the foremost candidate for the next French presidential elections, and it is imperative to look at the policies she is against. She is against immigration, she is against globalization, and she is against the entire European Union. She wants an exit from the European Union. She is for a more stringent secularization of France, a ban on face veils even on streets, and everything else you'll expect from an ultra-right political leader. Angela Merkel stepped down as the German Chancellor in her 4th term, while Marine Le Pen is on the verge of gaining a lot of power, and this sums up the political condition of the entire European Union. France, Poland, Greece, and most of the EU countries are seeing a rise of authoritative, ultra-right, intolerant political leaders, and this rise of intolerance at the top is a reflection of intolerance at the bottom. It is a dual effect, you need to understand this. Only intolerant people can choose leaders who are intolerant, who are Islamophobic. And this rise in intolerance in the public of the European Union and most of the world is the reason for the rise of such intolerant ultra-right leaders. What is the solution then? What should the world governments do, or what should the general public do in order to evade such religiously motivated attacks or the rising radicalism around the world? Well, let's talk about France specifically first of all. The French dilemma of laissez-faire. Should the French government bend or should the Muslim community adjust? Well, this is not about bending or not bending on winning or losing. This is about coming together to find a middle ground in order to exist peacefully. Adjusting can be interpreted in many ways, but what I mean here is the French government can loosen up its secular structure to a bit. Maybe bring out a law against Islamophobia and allow for face veils in public spheres. And on the same footing, the Muslim community of France can come forward, welcome these new policies and cooperate with the French government. Secondly, we come to the problem of ISIS. Well, tackling ISIS problem demands a completely new video which I might make in the near future. If you guys want such a video, please do tell us in the comment section. Finally, tolerance and cross-cultural tolerance is the immediate need of the hour. People around the world need to understand that bombing a Charlie Hebdo office or beheading a 70-year-old priest is an answer to nothing. Violence only leads to more violence, and choosing intolerant leaders will only lead to more intolerance and more violence and nothing else. Ending this video, I like to narrate a story around this need for tolerance. There was a frog which lived in the well. It was born and brought up in the well and spent its entire life in the well. Due to this frog thought that his well is the largest water body out there in the whole world. One day, a frog from the sea came and fell down into that well, and this frog from the sea told the frog of the well about the sea and how the sea is way more bigger than the well. The frog of the well was not ready to accept this, and he drove the frog of the sea away using violence. This story was narrated by Swami Vivekananda on his famous Chicago visit in his second speech called Why We Disagree. And it is imperative to listen to how Swamiji ended this speech. I am a Hindu. I am sitting in my little well and thinking of it as the whole world. The Christian sits in his little well and thinks of it as the whole world. The Mohammedan sits in his little well and thinks that it is the whole world. Finally, if I were to sum up the message of this video in 2 lines, a message to the entire world and to all the political leaders out there, I would again quote Swamiji's lines from his first speech in Chicago. I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. If you like the work that we are doing, please do like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for regular updates on whenever we upload a new video. Thank you so much.